The horse that Napoleon rode that morning was a night-colored stallion called the Rattler horse. It had legs like iron posts. It was known as a hard-mouthed bastard, sharp and difficult rather than easy and lazy, and was blind in one eye, so refused to turn on the forehand in that direction. But it didn't matter, because it always knew where to go. The horse was able to take a ditch without a spill, clear a wall, leap down a bank at the gallop, or spring up one. It was the very demonstration of impulsion and forward mobility, but was a mean and unforgiving horse. The first time he mounted the horse, it reached back and took his foot in its mouth and dragged him out of the saddle. It was a bitey horse and tried to take a chunk out of him. The next time the horse went to bite him, he jammed a sizzling beefsteak into its mouth. The horse screamed and lunged from the burn, but it never tried to bite him again. But on the whole, the Rattler horse was a most absolute and excellent horse. By many accounts, the best horse in the army. The horse could start and stop quickly, reverse itself, back up, change directions, stand still when he fired the Springfield, and charge at a controlled canter. The Rattler horse was deep-chested, with a short back, strong haunches, flat legs, a small head, and small feet. The horse never lamed, crippled, or galled. The Rattler horse leaned down to bone, was tireless and unflagging, and his collection of the horse always certain. On the other hand, his brother rode a succession of mounts. He liked horses with broad, short loins because the more easily they collect the hindquarters and lift on the forehand. He believed conformation was behavior, and yet, however conformed, they would eventually displease him and go out of favor. Riding out with him that morning were Extra Billy, Bandy, Preston, Stapleforth, and Turner. Extra Billy was named because they already had a Billy when he arrived, so he was an Extra Billy. He wore a razor scar from ear to chin, a wound he took in the Philippines, back in the day when drunk he cheated at cards. Extra Billy's nose was already bleeding from the dry and heated air. Extra Billy and Bandy were regular cavalry. Preston, Stapleforth, and Turner were all three irregular. America's eager export of losers, deadbeats, cutthroats, dilettantes, and murderers come to Mexico to be part of the hunt for the bandit Pancho Villa. They were rich and bored gallants. They'd already showed signs of sadism, filing down bullets and hollowing out their points. Now they were half asleep and hung over, and as useless to him as tits on a boar hog, with little promise they'd ever be more. It was last night, when word came to him, the men were tearing it up, and he set out to find them before someone was killed. It wasn't long before he found them in a cantina. Turner and Stapleforth were at a table awash with the light of an oil lamp. They wore wing collars and black silk neckties. They were sitting with two other troopers, Drunk Pete and the German. They were smoking cigars, and each had his own bottle of whiskey, and they had long since dispensed with the use of glasses. They told him they were having a whale of a good time. When he asked after Preston, they told him he was in the back with a woman. Drunk Pete was saying how much he loved the army, the rations and liquor being first rate, when there came a summoning scream of pain and horror from the curtains hung at the back. For what reason, he did not know, but Preston had cut off the woman's ear.